The fourth dimension. The fourth dimension exists in the range of frequencies from 22 through 28. This dimension often is called the astral plane, and is the residence of some disembodied souls until they can be fully transformed and integrated into the higher planes of existence. It is also the transition between the physical world and the higher worlds of the celestials. It is a challenging dimension, presently hosting the Battle of Armageddon, or the fight to transcend forces of opposition and transmute all into the light. Until Earth moves through this dimension on its path through the procession of the equinoxes and gets firmly anchored in the fifth dimension, people everywhere will be challenged by these unseen forces. Scientists add the variable of time to those of length, width, and depth when defining the fourth dimension. Time is an extension into the past and future, and is defined as being dependent upon matter. In his theory of relativity, Einstein often refers to time itself as the fourth dimension. His system requires 4 coordinates for determining a location within space. He also refers to this dimension as a time-space continuum, because these two components, time and space, are not absolutes. They relate only to an individual's movements through space. Time serves to help us awaken our memories of who and what we are. In dimensions higher than the third dimension, we can traverse time, moving back into past lives and then forward into the future. In other words, we can return again and again in a cyclical pattern through the totality of our existence. This process comprises a spiral which goes upward and downward in a never-ending path. Spirals are circular patterns with the dimension of time added. Life evolves in a spiral motion through all the dimensions, beginning with the mineral kingdom and moving on to the higher dimensions. The lower kingdoms support and sustain the higher ones, allowing a never-ending path of evolution. The Arcturians, the fifth-dimensional beings who assisted in writing the book We the Arcturians, add still another explanation of the fourth dimension by portraying this dimension as the vibration that begins to open the heart. It is an etheric dimension, they say, that acts as a portal, providing a pathway to higher worlds. This is accomplished through vibrations that resonate higher than the physical dense world of matter. This is a dimension that demands that we learn to forgive before we are allowed to exit from its frequency. The higher vibrations of the fourth dimension provide us with experiences, a new curriculum, if you will, that require us to choose lifestyles and behaviors that may be considerably different from those which we exhibited in the past. The sense of duality is still present in this dimension, and individuals transisting through the fourth dimension continue to see things as good-evil, male-female, and light-dark, all carryovers from the third dimension. Upon entering fourth-dimensional consciousness, however, individuals strive to work through their personal stuff and often work endlessly to solve problems related to duality. This is a dimension that must be experienced in order to achieve higher consciousness. Slowly, the understanding of oneness, the curriculum of the fifth dimension, begins to creep into one's consciousness. Because of this new knowledge and increased light, solutions to problems become more evident. This new state of higher consciousness leads to a hunger for more knowledge, requiring that an individual either choose the higher concepts of truth and enlightenment, or return to the third-dimensional realities of duality, rebirth, and suffering. This is a difficult decision for most people because choosing higher consciousness and realities requires the individual to change. In another transmission, the Arcturians said that one of the reasons that Jesus incarnated 2,000 years ago was to open this fourth-dimensional portal. He did this through his teaching of love and forgiveness, which opened the heart to higher consciousness. By demonstrating greater love than we experience in the physical, an individual moves through time-space into a state of higher consciousness. This form of love embraces an attitude toward oneness and humanity that eliminates judgment and eventually guides the person to follow higher truths and wisdom, such as the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Humanity has been given 2,000 years of incarnation to learn these simple lessons. One wonders what percentage of souls have really mastered them. As we enter the fifth dimension, the frequency range of 29 through 35, we have access to a broader spectrum of colors and sounds. Thus, a higher curriculum of opportunities awaits. The fifth dimension is a higher frequency of spiritual evolution than we enter after our light bodies, or our higher selves, merge with our physical energy bodies. This merging will occur once the lower 8 bodies are purified. Fear and negativity are no longer present, and the individual has control over the mental and emotional bodies. The human form that results will resemble the present physical form and will be a refinement of it, but will be transformed into a higher form of God consciousness. At present, humans constitute a limited form of intelligence operating within a narrow spectrum of consciousness. We exist to learn lessons that are part of that spectrum of creation. Time exists only within the consciousness of each individual. As individuals acquire higher consciousness, a higher vibrational frequency, they experience the discarding of the old constraints related to time and move into alternative realities that are accessed through universal mind and the thought forms of higher evolutionary beings of light. The Ascended Masters call the fifth dimension the dimension of mind and thought manifestation. This dimension supports creation and will constitute the means to bring heaven on earth in the seventh golden age. The frequencies of the fifth dimension are higher than those of the physical dense world of earth. In fact, they can vibrate beyond the speed of light, a concept hardly understood today. Thus, manifestation and creation are the conscious experience of the inhabitants of this dimension. It is here where the heart, attuned with the mind of the higher self, rules. The Pleiades, Arcturus, and Sirius are examples of star systems existing within this dimension. One of the most accurate ways to describe the fifth dimension is to say that it is a metaphysical world. Metaphysics is defined as essential reality based on abstract and subtle reasoning. It encompasses reality that stretches beyond the physical or material world to incorporate the transcendental and supernatural. The science of metaphysics is founded on some of the principles of physics that describe our existence as based in energy. Metaphysics also is closely related to epistemology, or the study of the nature of knowledge. Most of the teachings of the celestial beings residing on the fifth dimension and higher are concerned with processes. They emphasize the process of evolution and the process of moving into a higher consciousness, all dependent upon our managing our own energy, minds, and hearts. Although little is understood about dimensions higher than these defined above, a brief description of the sixth and seventh dimension is included here because these dimensions are the home of higher celestial beings, such as the Ascended Masters.